So is the Zoom F6 still a worthy mixer in the year 2025? Well, whether you're recording a YouTube video, movie, podcast, or commercial production, I do believe it is still a great choice. Now, I also feel that this is a very subjective question, but it definitely does need to be addressed considering all of the fancy new audio recorders we're seeing in today's market. So let's talk about it. The Zoom F6 is the only multi-track field recorder that I own, hence the reason why I've made so many videos about it. Although I have worked with other mixers like the MixPre 3 and the MixPre 6, unfortunately I don't happen to own any of those mixers, which kind of ties into why I still believe the Zoom F6 is highly valuable today. This is why you should hear this. I believe the Zoom F6 is still a highly desirable audio recorder because it functions in recording multi-track audio. What I mean by this is it's able to record multiple microphones at the same time. Think about it. It's called a Zoom F6. What does the 6 stand for? In this case, it stands for 6 audio inputs. The audio inputs are what you use to connect your cables and record your microphones. So the device is great for recording multiple people at once. Let's say you started a new podcast. It has maybe 5 or 6 people that actively come on. And if there are 5 or 6 people talking at the same time, you're going to want to use multiple microphones, right? And the Zoom F6 has the ability to record all of their voices at the same time. And now let's say you're using the Zoom F6 for narrative films. And this is exactly what I started using the mixer for. Some films require scenes with more than 3 to 4 characters on screen. And when something like that happens, you're using your boom mic along with 4 different lavalier microphones to make sure you're getting the best audio possible. And I know that with 2 to 4 microphones, you can also use what's called the Zoom H6N, which offers exactly 4 different audio inputs. However, maybe there's 1 extra character that needs a microphone and now you need audio input 5 to do the job. The recorder's timecode feature is also another huge benefit because you can record timecode from both the recorder's internal clock and you can record from an external clock. And if we're talking external, we're talking about like DoD timecode or Tentacle Sync. And the interesting part about using timecode with the Zoom F6 is that it only requires a 3.5mm jack. Now, if you're to use the Zoom F8N or Zaxcom or sound devices, you're more than likely to see a BNC timecode jack. And timecode is pretty much a code of audio syncopation between the audio mixer and the camera, keeping the number and time together for post-production. All of the audio can be synced up immediately. So now you can understand why the timecode feature on this device is incredibly important. And the best thing about this is, for a mixer that records 6 audio inputs and gives you timecode, you're paying less than $800. Most basic recorders like the Zoom H4n or the Zoom H6n, like I mentioned earlier, they only have 2 to 4 inputs and they usually cost within the $200 to $400 range. And the Zoom H4n is a great basic audio recorder for people just starting out. For instance, if you're recording simple YouTube videos like maybe this kind of video and you want to use just 1 audio input and you don't really need the Zoom F6 because you're not working on super advanced projects, then that's a perfect recorder for you. But on the other hand, if you're hosting a podcast that requires multiple people talking at once, then the Zoom F6 would be your better option. And unlike the other recorders out there, this recorder is very small and easy to pack away into your backpack, your audio bag, or any other small space that you want to organize your audio equipment. I recently invested into an Orca Sound duffel bag, which has become very useful for storing away my Zoom F6. Because the device is so small, it's easy to put in any type of audio bag, which you can then store away in the Orca duffel bag. And one of the top reasons I think this mixer is still valuable in 2025 is because of its audio recording and metadata settings. The settings are super easy to navigate through. You can set your recording setting, you can set the scene, track, and take number. It's easy to find where to format your card, and it's also easy to set up timecode. Of course, when you get the device and you don't know anything about this stuff, it's going to look very intimidating at first, but once you get the hang of the terms and understand what each thing means, it's going to be like a piece of cake. Now, I know we've talked a lot about what makes this audio recorder so great compared to a lot of the other mixers out there, or should I say audio recorders out there. But at the end of the day, why would you want to invest into this mixer specifically? And believe me, I've thought long and hard on this, and this is what I can tell you. We kind of touched base on it earlier, but this mixer is so great for just filmmaking, making movies. It's great for recording dialogue if you have multiple characters acting on screen, or if you're recording ADR, which stands for Automated Dialogue Replacement, and maybe you're using it to record 1 track of audio. It's still great for doing just that. As a matter of fact, that's what I'm doing in this video right now. I'm recording 24-bit audio with my Zoom F6, and I'm using my Shure SM7B. Really, it's not mine, but my friend let me borrow it. But let's say you're not a filmmaker, you're more of a musician or a singer. Well, when I said that you can record with multiple microphones, you can do the same thing when recording instruments. Because when recording any input, you can choose whether you're recording in phantom power or just at regular microphone volume levels. And the great thing about this is, if one audio input requires phantom power, you don't need to worry about ruining the microphone of another audio input that doesn't need phantom power, because really you're treating these inputs as individual tracks. So the Zoom F6 could be a really good mixer for recording live drums, or maybe you're recording a live band, someone that's using a vocal mic, then you have your guitarist, so you can record a band using multiple microphones and then edit that audio in post-production. But what if you want to record that band live in a digital audio workspace? Well, lucky for you, and unlike those basic recorders out there, the Zoom F6 also acts as an audio interface. And back in the day when I was a part of a band, it was called Early Sunrise, I actually used the Zoom F6 to record multiple tracks of audio. Now, if you're wondering, how the heck do you even power the device? Well, if you've used any type of LED light that requires NPF batteries, you can use those NPF batteries to your advantage, or you can record for longer periods of time using an external battery bank. You would connect the device using a USB-C to USB-C cable. So clearly, there are still many reasons why the Zoom F6 may be of importance to you. But please let me know what you would do with the Zoom F6 and why it would be of value to you. And if you'd like to learn the basic functionality of how to record with the mixer, then I suggest you watch this video where I teach you how to record both in 24-bit and 32-bit. I'll look forward to seeing you there.